Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. If you're looking for a sleeper film out there, this one could be it. I don't know how I got it, why nobody's talking about it. It's called Slingshot. And Casey Affleck's in it. And Laurence Fishburne. Emily Beecham. Let's see if I recognize anybody else. They're the top three there. So that's it. It is 5.7 on IMDb. 2,689 people rated so far. So people have seen this. It's on Amazon Prime. And it's about an astronaut who struggles to maintain his grip on reality aboard a possibly fatal compromise mission to Saturn's moon, Titan. No idea. Bleecker Street. I've heard that name many times. Obviously, I watch a lot of movies. So, I don't know. Something with him. I'm going to watch anything with Casey in it. I think he's really good. I always thought he just rode his brother's coattails. Not the case. I mean, maybe he did to get in the movies, in the film. But he is a true talent, I think, in my opinion. So I'm always interested in things that he does. So Laurence Fishburne, of course, don't see him too often, but I'm happy to have two good actors in one movie that I've never heard of. So there we go. And it's also interesting, they're saying we're getting a second moon. So I know it is Saturn's moon, and they're not giving us that moon, but we're getting a second moon. Anyway, I don't know. Let's check it out, see what it's about, see if it's worth watching. Stick around, I'll let you know. Hey everybody, we're at the credits of Slingshot and talk a little bit, but then we got to get into spoilers because it's hard to talk about. But I thought it was really good, and I say good with a purpose, and it's going to be hard. But Slingshot is the name of the why it's named this way is as they said, they're going up to one of Jupiter's moons, and they got a slingshot around Saturn, or vice versa. I think they go Jupiter. Yeah, it's one of Saturn's like 82 moons or something like that, and they're slingshotting around. So that's why it's called Slingshot. So Casey is, an astronaut and it starts off with that, him being on this trip that's 1.5 billion miles away from Earth, and so it's his job to get out there and then get some of the resources or something like that. It's all for mankind, so all good stuff, which is great. So it's crazy interesting. And that's as far as I can go, I think, right now. So if you haven't seen, I gotta talk about this with spoilers. I'm not gonna ruin the ending, but it's really, I'm just gonna stammer if I don't. So, and I don't want to put you through that. So if you haven't seen it yet, you don't want to learn more about it, I think it's worth the watch. I think his acting in it is really good. I do think that there's lulls. It does feel a little, drags on for a bit, I would say. But worth it if you stick with it. How long was it? An hour and 47 minutes, hour and 42 minutes. 5 minutes of whatever. So that's all I'll say right there. And if you trust me, check it out. Like that Adam Sandler space movie. If you kind of like that one, you might like this one. So if you want to hear more about it, I'm not going to spoil the ending, but I am going to spoil a little bit of it. Not the ending, but the movie. So spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Okay, right, so it's him, Laurence Fishburne, and I don't even know the other actor's name, but there's three of them on this shuttle going, a spacecraft or whatever, going to this moon, right, and it's all about what's going on there. Something happens to the spacecraft, and so now they're all debating on, can we still do this, can we not do this? So I think that, that gives you a little bit more idea of the plot. Now the mission, and it's like 2 years, so they've been in space for almost 2 years. And they go into hibernation, at like 9 months, and they sleep for 9 months, and they come back out and they do a little bit of work, or something like that, maybe a lot of work. So that's a little bit better idea of what the movie's about. I didn't want to say that without saying spoiler alert, because I really felt that, right from the beginning, I kind of thought what I thought, right, which a lot of people will think I think, right. So, and that plays out for a while, and that's why it had me thinking, this is dragging on. It felt like it was too much. It was like I already figured it out, right? And so, let's get to the end now. That's how I was going for maybe 35 minutes, maybe even 40 minutes. I was like, all right, I get it. I know what's happening here. I figured it out. Let's just get to the end and see what's going on. And then they hit you again, right? And I'm like, okay, So you just have to make it through that piece of it. if you get to the point where I was and you're like, okay, I get it, right? You get to the second point, which I wasn't there. But then it's like, okay, and I know I don't want to spoil it for you, but I wanted to give you that one piece. I was, and I'm going to give it to you again, right? So there's 3 of them, right? You got to figure out, okay, is there really 3 of them? But the only thing I don't like, and I guess maybe this happens, like, would they really send one astronaut on a 4-year, at least a 4-year trip by himself? That just doesn't make psychological sense. Nobody should be able to do that, and maybe it happens. I don't know. If they do, great. I know this was exactly what would probably happen to me. So that whole piece, right, I had that mapped out right at the beginning. Right as soon as the thing got hit, the space shuttle. But then whatever else they throw at us, I thought that made it a little bit more enjoyable, right? Because I didn't see that coming. The rest of it I saw, I was like, let's get to it. Let me see what happens here at the end. And then they spiced it up at the end. So I enjoyed it that much. So in the end, I thought he did a great job of acting. And Laurence Fishburne, he was good too. But it was in the back of my mind, so it didn't really work for me. But I really think the twists that they throw in make it ultimately for me in this movie. So there you go. Except for that one thing, like, would they really send one person off? There you go. I don't know if I'm helpful at all. I'm sure I'm all over the place. But it was worth watching, and paying for on Amazon Prime. So I wasn't saying that at the 1 hour to 1 hour and like 30-minute mark. I was maybe even at the 45-minute to 1 hour and 30-minute mark. I was like, okay, it's good. Kind of seen it before, but it works out. All right. I know I'm stammering again because I don't want to ruin it all, but I just wanted to give you that little bit about it, because if you get to that point and you're watching this film, stick with it. There you go. That's all I got. Hopefully I was helpful. Thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.